Hello and welcome back or welcome to my channel. For those of you that don't know, my name is Lotte and today we're just having a little chat about New Year's resolutions, habit setting and some of the things that I'm putting in place before the new year. Almost as a self-preservation, to be honest, because New Year is so unnecessarily stressful. It's actually my birthday as well, so on my birthday I'm trying to enjoy myself. Everybody's out here setting unrealistic goals and resolutions, and I just think that needs to change. So I'm going to tell you 5 of the little habits that I'm putting in place in the build up to the new year, so that on New Year's Day I don't feel like I need to reshuffle my whole life and change everything, because ultimately that's just unrealistic and it's what so many people do year in, year out, and it's just not sustainable at all. The word resolution literally means you're making a firm decision to do or not do something, and I think that just holds us to such an unrealistic standard and expectation. Really, we should be setting small little goals and putting habits in place so that we create this system that allows us to reach our overall long-term goals. I've done a video before chatting about how to set long-term goals, so if you want to go and watch that, I'll pop a link in. And it's worth just considering those ultimate goals that you have and then thinking about ways that you can work towards them. So for example, don't go, oh, I want to have Kendall Jenner's body by the end of January. No, that's unrealistic, and there's no point setting yourself to those kind of unrealistic beauty standards, fitness standards, life standards, because really no one has their life that together. So the best thing to do really is to be setting the little things that will help you get there. So like, oh, I'm going to do this ab workout, I'll go to this exercise class, I'll meal prep for the week so I'm having healthier meals. Those little things work together to reach your ultimate goal. So that's what we're going to chat about today, and I'm going to share with you 5 of the habits that I've been incorporating throughout the last month, and I'm really noticing a difference in the way that my day is starting to feel. These were things that I was like really letting slip. You know, when you get to the end of the year and you're just like, oh, I'll wait till January, I'll do it in January. Really, January the 1st is just a day, so I said to myself, no, I'm not going to tie myself to one day where I can improve my life. I may as well just take little steps to get there. And then when it comes to January 1st, I can enjoy my birthday cake, I can have a nice day, and I don't need to be worrying about resolution setting. And I think that should be the same for everyone. We shouldn't hold ourselves to this unrealistic standard. So, anyway, moving on from that, let's talk about some of these habits that I'm referring to. So the first habit that I've been trying to improve and basically remold my brain is the way I deal with alarms. So whenever I set an alarm, I live in a really busy and loud area of the city, and I've kind of got used to just blocking out noise, and I've started to do that with my alarm as well. And it's really bad because I'll just ignore it, snooze it, and it just goes straight through my head. I can wake up and it's been going off for ages. The other week I was at home and my mum walked into my room to turn my alarm off because I just completely ignored it. And it just kind of formed into my dream. I wasn't even aware of it. And I think that's because I've been snoozing it and ignoring it for so long that it's just become a subconscious thing that I do. But there is a way to reverse that, and that's making sure I'm holding myself accountable for getting up at the time I set my alarm. So I've been trying to do this by making sure I have something to do in the morning. So for example, scheduling in a workout class for the day before for the morning so that I have to get up. So like this morning I went to a boxercise class, which was really fun. It was at 7 a.m, so therefore I had to be up by 6:30 so that I could get to the class. And that forced me to listen to my alarm and think, okay, I actually need to be up. And I got that kind of adrenaline rush that was like, I have something to do. When I don't have anything to do, especially when I have classes later in the afternoon, it's so easy to just ignore my alarm, and I'm sure many of us are guilty of doing that. So setting something in place, or even just having a to-do list that I've made the night before of something I want to get done in the morning, really helps to get me up. Even if I don't have anything to do, things like wanting to make a nice breakfast, that can help as well if I really don't want to do a workout or do anything productive in the morning. And on that note, I've been trying to be much nicer to myself in the mornings. I used to be a massive morning person, and I'd say I still am a morning person, but less so when it's so dark in the mornings. So at the moment it's not getting bright till maybe 8:30, pushing 9, and I just have no motivation when it's dark. It's just so depressing in the morning. So I'm trying to be nice to myself and do the easier things in the morning, or like I said, go to a workout class, make breakfast, just have slow mornings, and then get my main tasks of the day done in the afternoon. So on that note, getting things done in the afternoon is not something I'm normally used to. As I said, I'm used to being a morning person. So I've been noticing that I've been having more and more coffee later on in the day. And this is something that is really not good for anybody. I've noticed in myself, I get more acid reflux. I'm quite jittery if I have more than 2 coffees a day. So I've been trying to cut down my coffee intake, and I found it really helpful having Magic Mind. So Magic Mind are these little 2-ounce shots of productivity. They have really cute packaging, and I found them really helpful to keep me going for a few hours extra in the day. So these are matcha shots that contain nootropics and, as I said, matcha, which has an ingredient called L-theanine in it. And this ingredient basically binds to the matcha and prevents the caffeine receptors from getting overbound to in your brain, and then you end up getting the crash and the fall from caffeine, which obviously nobody wants when you're trying to be productive. So Magic Mind is a great way to increase your productivity. It's meant that I've not been having 3, 4, 5 coffees in the day. Instead, I'm just having 1, maybe 2 on a really busy day, but definitely less than usual. So I'm going to pop a link in the description to Magic Mind, as well as a discount code if you fancy trying this out. I've been using it for around 2 weeks, and I noticed an incremental increase in my productivity the more I used it. As I said, it contains ingredients like nootropics, so they kind of increase in their effect the more that you use them. And one of the nootropics it contains actually helps you with your cognitive enhancement and memory and things like that, which if you're in uni, you're a student, in school, whatever, I'm sure you have to memorize loads of things. I definitely do, so it's really helpful to have that little boost from the natural ingredients around us. So as I said, I'll link Magic Mind in the description below. Moving on to the second habit that I'm incorporating. This is related to organization and links really nicely to what I was just saying about productivity. So I noticed that my productivity was really starting to slip away, and I was getting a lot less done. So what I've been trying to do is, in my planner, I've had a list of the main tasks that I want to complete throughout the week, and then I assign those to different days. And then usually what I'll do is sneakily add to my to-do list for the next day the thing that I didn't do the day before, purely for the satisfaction that I can take it off and give myself this false sense of security that I've been really productive. And that gives me the satisfaction that I've been productive, even though I've actually not done anything, and I've spread out a really small task over 3 or 4 days. And then I think in my head that I'm getting stuff done, but I'm just not. So I'm trying to just prevent myself from doing that. So let's say I had a really productive day planned on Wednesday and then I did nothing. On Thursday, instead of moving all those tasks to Thursday and writing them in my Thursday to-do list, I'll leave them in the Wednesday one and only tick them off the Wednesday one, so that then it's empty on Thursday and I can see how much I'm actually getting done. Because I was literally having these long lists on every single day and it looked like I was doing loads. In reality, I really wasn't. It was just tasks that I was moving between the days. So if you find yourself doing something similar, I would really recommend incorporating a habit such as setting main tasks and seeing how it goes. On top of that, I found I've been able to improve my organization through time blocking. So I think they use this in a lot of like businesses where you have a block of time to just do emails, finish off tasks, things like that. And I found that really helpful for getting things done, such as sending emails, any admin stuff that I need to do. By having a little block of time to do it all, I'm not sending messages, flicking through social media whilst replying to emails and ending up procrastinating for ages. Now, this is something I've incorporated very recently. A lot of these other habits I've been doing throughout the last month or so. This is something I'm kind of trialing for the next few weeks. I've been doing it for a few days and I'm just going to see how it goes, and I think it has already improved my productivity and reduced my procrastination. Moving on to the kind of second part of this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about food, exercise and nutrition. So these are all things that I really love, and I like to take time to enjoy my meals, enjoy my exercise and feel fully nourished. However, much like with my productivity and organisation, I felt this was starting to slip away, and I was eating a lot more unhealthy foods and things that just don't make me feel good. Now, there's nothing wrong with eating unhealthy food. I do love chocolate and sweets and cake and everything else, and I do eat those things, but I just knew that I was eating a lot more than I normally would, and I felt the effect of that with my stomach was kind of playing up, acid reflux, my skin started to break out, and none of those things I wanted to continue, obviously. So I wanted to make those things better, and I knew that I needed to target things like food and nutrition in order to get there. So when it comes to food, I'm a big fan of the 80-20 rule. Obviously not all the time, I don't think that's realistic, especially around Christmas. It's much more of like a 60-40, 50-50 split sometimes, and that's completely okay, but I do try to aim for a rough average of 80-20 for 80% healthy foods, 20% of the more unhealthy foods. And the way that I've found this kind of to incorporate a habit into this is to meal prep. So this is not something I've really done in the past. I usually make each meal fresh throughout the day, but I've really enjoyed meal prepping, and it's just made not only my life a lot less stressful throughout the week, but I've also been eating a lot healthier and had more energy because of it. Now, I don't really meal prep full meals. I tend to roast some vegetables, roast chickpeas, roast some chicken, something like that, put those in Tupperware, and then throughout the week I'll either add those to wraps or add them with some quinoa, some rice or something along those lines. And I found that really helpful. Now, with the 80-20 rule, that kind of means eating 16 to 17 healthy meals and then having the rest to be flexible with your meals, snacks or whatever. And the way that I found it's kind of good to get that 16 or 17 is to do the meal prep 5 days of the week, then have 5 to 7 healthy breakfasts and 5 to 7 healthy meals, and then the others you can be flexible with. Because I'm in uni during the day, I found it really helpful to have those 5 lunches meal prepped, and then I mostly have breakfast at home, so my 5 to 7 meals come from my breakfast, and then roughly 5 meals throughout the week that I cook, and then I have the weekend to be more flexible with my food. And I've just found this a really helpful way to improve my nutrition, improve the way I feel, but also save a lot of time because I'm not having to cook 3 times a day. The fourth habit that I've been incorporating is very similar in the sense of meal prepping, and that's ensuring that the food that I'm eating is not something that I'm focusing on the calories in it, the number of meals I'm having, the number of snacks I'm having, but instead the nutritional value. So as I said, I've been roasting more veggies, chickpeas, chicken to make sure I'm getting my protein and also all the nutrients from the vegetables, instead of just focusing on the calories and the actual amount of food I'm eating. And I found this a really helpful way of ensuring that I'm giving my body what it needs, because as much as we need to listen to our body when we're craving sweet foods and give ourselves those foods, because no one knows our body better than our body, we also need to make sure that we're giving our body the nutritional foods that it craves and values. And occasionally we do crave sugary foods or certain foods that contain nutrients that we may be deficient in, that we can be getting in a greater amount from somewhere else. So for example, I think like magnesium, you sometimes crave chocolate if you're low in magnesium, but you could be eating more greens like spinach and broccoli and things like that. So I've been trying to add in those nutritionally dense things to my foods. So for example, yesterday I made some porridge, and I knew that I'd had a few days of eating quite an unbalanced diet, and I knew I needed to add some fibre and some fruit. So I put in some frozen fruit into my porridge, stirred that in, and then I added some chia seeds for that extra fibre. And then I felt a lot better after that because I knew that I'd given my body the nutrients that it needed. And on top of nutrition as well, I've been trying to stay on top of vitamins. So I've been taking a vitamin D because of these darker days, as well as a multivitamin and a probiotic. So if you're not taking any vitamins, then I would really recommend incorporating that habit into your daily routine. Put them in a place that's really obvious and accessible, And over time, if you have been deficient in certain vitamins or nutrients, you will notice a change, and I definitely have since I've been taking my vitamins more regularly. The final habit that I've been incorporating over the past couple of months is improving my relationship with exercise. I kind of go through phases where I do loads of exercise all the time, and then I just won't do any for ages because I think I have more important things to do. And that's really not a healthy mindset to have, because I know that exercise makes me feel so good mentally, it makes me more productive, I feel more awake during the day, and I just know that I need exercise to be able to feel that way and to be able to keep functioning. So what I've done recently is get myself a gym membership. I found that actually having to hold myself accountable to something I'm paying for has been really helpful to make me want to go. And I know that's not really the most ideal way, as it should be something that I want to do because I know it's good for me. But sometimes you just have to put those things in place in order to get to the point where you're like, this is good for me, I want to keep doing this. So having that gym membership has been really helpful. It's also been great because it's so cold outside, and I don't really want to go for a run when it's super cold. So having the gym membership and being able to go to classes where it's nice and warm has been really motivating. I've also found that incorporating new workouts, new classes has really helped keep me motivated throughout this latter part of the year in wanting to do exercise. So this week I tried boxercise, a new Pilates class. I went to the gym with my friend to do some heavy lifting, which is not something I usually do, and I also tried a new spinning class. So these are all things that are quite out of my comfort zone, as I'm usually very much someone who sticks to a similar sort of routine. I like to do Pilates, yoga, and cardio, and occasionally some free weights, but it's very rare. So doing those things, going with a friend, I found really helpful, and it's just helped me to build up this habit of working out as much as possible. I've not stuck myself to a specific schedule or a workout plan or anything like that, because I know that at this point in time that's just not what my body or my mind needs. I need the flexibility to try new things, put myself out of my comfort zone and explore different types of exercise. And I think as well it's really important to do this because you just never know if an exercise class or a workout might be the one for you and the one that you really enjoy. And I don't want to potentially miss out on not doing something that I absolutely loved because I was too scared to go. So hence why I went to my boxercise class. I went to that this morning. I was quite nervous because I've not done anything like that in a class before, and it was just me and one other person, so that was quite daunting, but I ended up really enjoying it, and I think that just proved to me that it's a good thing to put myself out of my comfort zone and that it can be enjoyable even if it is quite daunting. So I hope you enjoyed this video and those 5 habits that I've been incorporating and that I would recommend that you incorporate for the last few weeks of 2022 before we enter 2023. And I just want to reiterate the importance of setting yourself these small goals, small habits, reversing unhealthy habits to work towards an overall bigger long-term goal. It's so important not to get bogged down by one day of the year and allow that to really stress you out. We all know that January is going to be an overwhelming month because so many people have this mindset of trying to change their life and turn their life around in one day, in 1 month, and it's just not sustainable at all. So give these habits a go. Let me know if you try any of them. I'd love to know how they go for you guys. And if you do try Magic Mind as well, then I'd love to know what you think of it. As I said, I'll pop a link in the description and you can use my code for 20% off your order. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.